Hey everybody. Okay, I am actually trying something new. I'm going live in Instagram and Facebook. So if I'm not looking directly at you, let me put my camera right here. Then I can actually look at everybody at the same time. It's Thanksgiving week right now. What if the first or second week of January, you were ready to step into homeschool in a new way where you have a solid family focus, you have observed your kids in a way that you know better what makes their hearts tick. You've revisited your homeschool goals, you've revisited your routines and your flows, you've looked at your curriculum, and then you step in grace and peace and excitement in homeschool. This is the perfect time to revisit homeschool. It really is, because the homeschoolers are going the holidays are going to jimmy whack everything that you have in your homeschool planner anyway. So why not push it all aside intentionally and then observe your kids, observe your routines, observe your flows. Think about what is it that we want by the time our kids graduate high school and get those homeschool master goals rock solid. And then once you have all of that covered, you've invested into really connecting with your kids and leaning into families and experiences and adventures. You have revisited your homeschool goals, so you know what it is you're actually aiming for in your homeschool journey. You have looked at your routines and identified this piece is working, this piece is not working. Let's create a plan for how you can do that. You've identified the natural flow of your homeschool day. When you're there, now you can look at your curriculum and you can say, does the curriculum fit? Does it fit my kids? Does it fit my family? Does it fit the lifestyle that we want to leave? Does it work within our routines and our flows? And if not, this is the perfect time to step into the freedom that homeschooling offers. Somewhere in the link, because I'm on two places, I don't know where it is, but it's there. There's a link to our Homeschooling Olympians program. And one of the pieces of the Homeschooling Olympians is this beautiful 6-week master class that you'll be set long before you get to January 1st if you started today. But after 6 weeks, you are in a very different place. I know this from working with homeschoolers and watching them go from overwhelmed and confused to then they kind of cock their head like a puppy. They go like this, wait a second. And then they start to get it. They start to smell the joy of homeschool in the air. And it is a beautiful thing to watch homeschoolers go from being overwhelmed, confused, frustrated, butting heads with their kids to then where they let go of the drama that homeschooling can stir up within the household and then fully embrace the life that homeschool promises, right? We sign up for this homeschool adventure because we want stronger connections with our kids. We want to invest in their interests and passions so that we can help them become the best versions of themselves. Oh, there's been a lot going on social media, especially on my A Better Way to Homeschool page on Facebook, where I've had some pretty intense comments and conversations going with some people that just don't get the homeschool adventure. But at the same time, people are sharing their great wins, the things that homeschool have unlocked for them, where the kids are going on to not only earn college educations, but they're becoming master musicians, they're becoming farmers, they're becoming business owners. It's beautiful. It's not just my husband, Craig, and I that have had success in homeschool. And how do we measure success? Oh, we could do it the world's way first by saying, all 5 of our kids are potty trained. All 5 of our kids can read. All 5 of our kids can write. All 5 of our kids love to read. That's kind of the world's way. They've also earned at least associate's degrees in college. Again, it's a world's measuring stick. But then my husband and I can look at our 5 sons and we can say, okay, can we measure them a different way? Can we measure their success in a way that actually matters? All 5 of the kids are now amazing adults. They're at least 18 or older. they're kind, they're considerate, they're hardworking. I just watched what my 20-year-old just came in and he said, Mom, I think I grew. And the reason he's saying he thinks he grew is because he was just outside and he chopped over a cord of wood, and it helped him feel so much better about himself that he actually feels taller. Now he's tall enough at 6'2". The way that you measure your kids' success in homeschool, you should be able to look at it both ways. Are they doing the things that we need them to do? Are they reading? Are they writing? Do they understand numbers? Can they do the basic math? Like, those are amazingly important measurables when it comes to academics. But the intangibles are the more important things. Did they hold on to their faith? Are they strong with their family? Are they responsible? Are they diligent? Are they kind? Are they compassionate? These are the types of things that my husband Craig and I are the most passionate about in our coaching program, Homeschooling Olympians, because the academic stuff, it's a piece of cake if you have the heart and the character and the attention of your kids. If they feel seen and they feel validated and they feel loved and encouraged and strengthened, they're going to learn to read and write and do all the things. But the flip is also true too. If they don't feel seen, if they don't feel validated, if they just feel like they're doing a bunch of busy work, then you are likely arm wrestling your kids with homeschool all day long, because they can see, they feel like it's a waste of their time. And we don't want to waste their time, and we don't want them to waste our time. So this is why this season of homeschool is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites because of the holidays. We give ourselves permission to push the school part aside, right? We homeschool for the freedom, so it is great to push it aside and talk about things like the history of Thanksgiving and how to cook, how to set a table, all of those things. That you take the little giblet bag out of the turkey before you roast it, pull your turkey out of the freezer, put it in the fridge, all those life skills. Perfect time to lean into these. It's also a really great time to talk about thankfulness and to write thank you cards and to start writing Christmas cards and creating crafts and all of those things. So it doesn't feel as wrong to push the school part aside and to do the family things, which is why it's a perfect time to reevaluate what you're doing. And if I'm looking at two different cameras, it's because I'm live on Facebook and Instagram right now. And I'm not quite sure where to look, so that's okay. But it's the perfect time for you to reevaluate what you're doing. Homeschool kind of follows the same cycle, and that in summertime, it's super exciting and we buy all the things and we fill out our lesson plan and we design this perfect homeschool life. And then the first day of school comes and the kids walk in and they mess up everything because they don't follow the lesson plan, and they certainly don't subscribe to our vision of what it should look like. Sometime around October, we start to settle into some kind of a groove where, okay, we have a routine going, things are working, we can see this piece is working, this piece is broken. And then the holidays creep up. Just when we start to feel like we're starting to get traction, the holidays come in. This is the perfect time to reevaluate what you're doing. Is the curriculum working? Are you closer with your kids today than you were in August? That's a tough question. And most of the time, most of the homeschoolers that I'm talking with lately are struggling with routine. They're struggling with the flow of their day, and they're anxious that their kids are falling behind. And so this is the perfect time to kind of reevaluate things. It's also the perfect time to look at Homeschooling Olympians, because you have 6 weeks right now in front of you that you have time to go through the master class in a way that you don't have to rush, without the stacking on of trying to do the master class plus this extra teaching as well. The class doesn't require a lot of time in your day, but it'll give you a lot to think about and a lot of tools to help you evaluate what you're doing right now in your homeschool. And it is absolutely our joy and our pleasure to come alongside homeschoolers and help equip them so that at the end of their homeschool journey, like where my husband and I are, where we have our 18-year-old just called home. He is the one, and I talk about him a lot because It's not that he's more successful, it's that he's overcome academic hurdles, bigger academic hurdles than the other boys, because he didn't read till he was over 10. He didn't write well because he has crippling dyslexia. And with all of that, he didn't rock academics until he got into the latter part of homeschool, or latter part of high school. And now he's at university, and he heard what we said: never pass up an opportunity for extra credit when you're taking college classes, because life happens, right? You get sick, you get injured, these things happen. So he took the opportunity to step into one of his classes. It's a leadership class, and he walked in for the extra credit opportunity. And he's like, Mom, Dad, you are not going to believe this. I walk in thinking I'm going to have to read something and write like a five-page paper or something. And the professor looks at me and she goes, Stephen, here's what you're going to do. You are going to get up on stage and give a 20-minute presentation on how to rock life at the University of San Diego and improve your leadership skills. Got it? Go. He's like, Mom, I kind of had a mini heart attack, and I got up on stage and my heart was beating really fast, but then I did it. And because we had focused with him on one of our master goals, remember, this is the perfect time to revisit that. One of our master goals is that our kids become excellent communicators by the time they graduate high school. And because we truly focused on that when he was in high school, he said, when I stepped off the stage after 20 minutes, and he said, there were like 50 or 60 people in that class. You couldn't have slides, you couldn't have notes, and you had zero time to research. It was extra credit. So you had to do it right then. He said, I got off the stage, and after I panicked at first, I got in my groove. At about the 15-minute mark, I started to panic in my head because I started to run out of things to say, but then I pulled it together and tied it all on a bow. And he said his professor came up to him afterwards, and he got 89 out of 100 points, which is fantastic. And he said his professor told him he was her second favorite student of all time to do this type of an extra credit. He said one walked up and did a professional level presentation, but he was second out of all of the students that she's ever taught. And I thought, at this stage in homeschool, what do you want for your kids by the time they graduate high school? Do you want them to check off a bunch of boxes and complete a bunch of, worksheets and quizzes and assignments? Or do you want them to not buckle under the pressure that life is going to throw at them, to feel taller because they chop a cord of wood without chopping their toes off, or to feel super empowered that you took an extra step to do something like get extra credit, have it be a super intenseful, kind of an anxious moment, and then watch yourself like succeed. Do you want them to fall in love with reading? Do you want them to become lifelong learners and to be excellent communicators? Take the time right now, between right now today, which is, I think, November something. It's November, it's Thanksgiving week. Between now and the first week of January, you can completely reboot your homeschool, and I invite you to do that. So if you would love our help, just follow the link to Homeschooling Olympians, and you'll be able to look at the details and then connect with us so that we can share which parts and pieces would be a perfect fit for you. And we look forward to helping you. This is like truly our joy and our pleasure. So hope to see you pop in on my calendar soon. I got to go take a kid to work, and I will see you soon. So goodbye, Instagram. Have a great day. And goodbye, Facebook. Have a great day.